And you can actually, like, look up interviews where the original creators, like Shinji Mikami of the original Resident Evil, talked about how their primary inspiration when making the original Resident Evil was Sweet Home. They wanted to take Sweet Home and, like, A, 3D, and B, have it be, like, a real-time survival experience, because, again, Sweet Home was an RPG. And so with this innovation of new technology, of the PlayStation, they, like, it opened up this world of creative possibilities for them. So then it's even funnier coming to this game after the original Resident Evil, which did then start to really dive into the Romero-isms, I feel like, because the original Resident Evil is pretty original in terms of, I mean, like, Haunted Mansion stories are a dime a dozen, kinda. I forget, is the door down this way locked? Yes. Okay, the ventilation shaft. That also explains something that happens later. I mean, Haunted Mansion stories, that's really what it was. You were a group of special operative SWAT team members, like pseudo-military. Like, I feel like that gets a lot of flack now, because the idea of, like, you want to be John Everyman. You want to have a character that's, like, down to earth and really... Look at this fucking picture. Who the fuck is that guy on the left? Homeboy on the far left standing up. Who is that? And then Homeboy kneeling down in the front row. What is that, a fucking mortar? Like, what is this picture? Okay, I can name all these. From right to left. Brad Vickers, Barry Barton, Albert Wesker, Richard something, Kevin? There's only one black guy, the affirmative action hire. And then I want to say that guy is Dooley. Dooley? Son of a bitch, who is that? The guy pointing his shotgun at his buddy's head like a goddamn idiot. No, who is that? That's the guy who got eaten by crows. That fucking idiot who got nommed by crows. What a dumbass. Forrest, that's who it is. And then front row, Frost, Jill, Chris, Enrico. Fuck if I know. I feel like that might be the helicopter pilot, because Brad Vickers was the helicopter pilot of Alpha Team. One of these guys is the helicopter pilot of Bravo Team. I don't know who the fuck homeboy on the far left there is. Anyway, all of these guys are dead. Like, there's this real conception that, like, you gotta have a down-to-earth protagonist, like a John Everyman, like a Shaun of the Dead type character, so that you can project yourself onto it, because the fantasy of the zombie apocalypse now is the downfall of society, like Last Man on Earth. It appears to be a replica of a gun. The gun owner is probably a member of the NRA. Japan's perception of gun owners and the NRA is that they own replicas of guns. Oh, Japan. It's cute. It's cute that they want to feel like they know what guns are. Anyway. And then here's Jill's desk, which you can tell because it has a beret. Oh, look at that! I feel this never gets brought up ever again. It's a picture of a young man. Maybe it's her boyfriend. Jill has a boyfriend? Who the fuck is this picture? That never gets brought up. And then, if you look on the wall, Chris has a bomber jacket. Says Made in Heaven on the back. It's the same as Claire's jacket. Reference to a Queen album. Desk is disorganized and untidy. Power affects the owner's personality. Like, the appeal of the zombie apocalypse fantasy is that, like, the downfall of society, there are no consequences anymore. You can kill people and it's not a big deal because they're zombies, and it's fine. And now you don't have to get up and go to work, you don't have to pay your bills, because it's the zombie apocalypse, blah, blah, blah. Like, people want to project themselves onto that fantasy now. That's like, yeah, I could survive a zombie apocalypse. No, you wouldn't. And then this is Rebecca's desk. Do we have a prompt for this? Hello? No? I love how, like, this makes no sense. I think you can get the, I'm not gonna bother, but if you search this a million times, you get a different picture. I like how this is just all the desks of the STARS members who survived. Like, here's Barry, who survived, Chris and Jill, who survived, Rebecca, who allegedly survived, even though she's never been seen in the series again. Why doesn't Capcom just say she died? Like, it's impossible to have beaten Resident Evil 1 and saved Rebecca and Barry, but, like, for decades and decades, they have insisted that Rebecca made it out, even though she's never been seen again. STARS was not just those 4 members. STARS was all of these guys. Did they clear their desks out that quickly? Like, what happened to Enrico's desk? What happened to Brad Vickers? Technically, should still be alive. We don't know he's dead yet. What happened to Forrest's desk? What happened to fucking... Where did everyone's desk go? Look at how small this fucking room is, too. You can't fit all these desks for all... Someone was sharing desks. I'm just saying. They didn't think this through. They designed this room with, like, okay, this is the STARS room. Okay, well, Barry, Jill, Chris, and Rebecca are the only ones who are still alive, so put their desks in there. They didn't think about all the other fucking desks that should be here. Grenade launcher, because once again, if you're a female in the Resident Evil universe, you get a grenade launcher. Men get shotguns, women get grenade launchers. That's just how it works. But the reason in the original Resident Evil you were playing as a special operatives pseudo-paramilitary group was for the power fantasy, because the idea was supposed to be that the horrors that you would experience in the Spencer estate were so excessive, extreme, and dangerous that no normal person would be able to survive. Hell, these special military operatives barely survived by the skin of their teeth, and most of them died. Only our main characters really got out of that situation alive, and depending on what ending you got, it could have just been the one you were playing as. And Barry and Rebecca could have died. You could have left Chris or Jill to their death, depending on who you were playing as. So, like, that really emphasized the danger of the situation, of the BOWs, of the T-Virus, is this fucking paramilitary group got wiped the fuck out. So, in a way, it was a power fantasy. Like, you were playing as the badass soldier motherfucker who could survive this horrible zombie situation where anyone else wouldn't have been able to accomplish it. And that's really the difference between, you know, like, the zombie fiction of back then and the zombie fiction of today. AKA, back then, zombie fiction was a lot more shameless and allowed to have fun with itself, you know? Once again, Jill and Barry, not Rebecca. No one talks about Rebecca. So, like, the entire reason Claire came to the city was to find her brother Chris. Gotta go find Chris. Chris ain't fucking here. That's what this fucking journal is all about. It's saying, sorry Chris, I fucked off, your search for me was worthless. It's setting up the G-Virus, because in the original game, the T-Virus was a big deal, creating all the zombies. Now, you go into this game, and you're like, oh shit, another virus? What could this shit do? Right? And it explains why the outbreak happened in the first place, because the original main characters tried to warn everyone, and it got covered up, and, like, hush-hushed. Because of all of this fucking retconning that happened. I like how he didn't tell his sister, A, that zombies are a thing, and B, you didn't tell her that you're going to Europe. Like, she thinks you went missing. Claire thinks, oh shit, Chris has gone missing, I haven't heard from him, shit's going down, I'm gonna go to the fucking Raccoon City. Try and find him. Good job, Chris, you fucking idiot. I still don't understand why Chris gets heralded up as the main character of Resident Evil. I don't know anyone who prefers Chris's game over Jill's game. Everyone played as Jill. Jill should be the main character. I don't understand why Chris is the main character of Resident Evil, pretty much. Yeah, again, they're setting up what the G virus is, aka John Carpenter's The Thing virus. It is unconfirmed that it even exists, so good job, Chris, you fucking idiot. Oh, shit. So, the chief of police is in Umbrella's back pocket. That's also why he was hiding ammo all over the place, to make it more difficult for his own police force to deal with the zombie threat that was gonna hit. Although, to be fair, to be 100% fair, for a lot of this game, you're kind of led to wonder why the zombie outbreak happened, and you might think, oh, like, Umbrella released the T virus on purpose. Like, you're not really sure, necessarily, based on what you know going into the game. But later on, it does get explained why the outbreak ended up happening. But we got the unicorn medal here. Please guide me to the beautiful maiden who turned into stone as she waited for me. Who the like, this is a police station. Like, what the Christ? Who designs a police station this fucking way? Like, in the original Resident Evil, you could kind of accept it, right? You can go, okay, Trevor was a nut job, Spencer was like a crazy person, who was like, make my dumb gay mansion all weird and crazy and shit. So you're like, okay, I don't know if these actually do any damage to you. Yeah, we're fine. It's fine. You're fine, Claire. Chill out. Don't worry about it. Oh my gosh. You can accept some millionaire, like, eccentric millionaire. Fuck you. Haha. You can't turn around because you're a fucking idiot. That's so fucking funny, because if you just rush past him, when you come back into the room, they don't expect you to have not fought him. Like, that first initial encounter is supposed to introduce you to the new threat. In the same way that you got introduced to zombies in the original game by having the decapitated head and all that. Ugh. But then you just run past him, and then you come back into the room, and he's still facing forward, because why wouldn't you fight him, right? It's just always funny. Kinda, walking through the scenes in the game that they didn't account for. To obtain the key to open your heart, I'll wait for the unicorn. Again, like, a crazy millionaire has his big dumb mansion made all weird and have all these puzzles and stupid keys because he's a fucking asshole who likes old spy movies. You can understand that. Who designs a fucking police station like this? Like, what is this lunacy? Who fucking makes keys out of like playing card logos and locks all the doors based on playing cards, and he hid a fucking key in the statue that you need to put an emblem of a fucking unicorn in order to get the key out of the goddamn statue. Like, what is this lunacy? Like that was where the stereotypes towards the game toward the series started coming heavily into play. There we go. Thankfully, they start way over there. And a little trick is that if they start getting too close, just turn around and run out the door and then come back in. And it will reset their position. Thankfully, you have plenty of time to go ahead and take them out. They start out far enough away from you. There we go. That's again, the auto lock-on lets you check, are they really dead? Yes, because the character is not automatically turning around and locking on to the enemies. And there's a lot of herbs everywhere, too. This game's actually much easier than I remember. I haven't played this game that much compared to Remake, which I have played kind of over and over at this point. But Resident Evil 2 is definitely one that I didn't get around to until much later in life. Fuck you. Again, look at these zombies wearing normal-ass police uniforms, because who the fuck... Like, Leon, where did you get that stupid fucking outfit? Jesus Christ. I'm never gonna get over this. Fucking Leon Kennedy is Judy Hopps ass. Fucking, look at me, I'm the main character uniform over here. Fuck you, fuck you! No! 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 Prick. What happened to the sisterhood? I like how there's actually a little bit of logic to the durability of the various different zombies. Damn it. Where the zombies that are in police uniforms seem like they take more hits to down. Female zombies, of which there's only like one model of female zombie in the game that just gets reused a lot. Ooh, sweet. Yes. Give me that shit. Whereas female zombies go down with considerably less bullets. Again, that's how it feels to me. I don't really have the fucking math to back that up. There we go. I never played this game as a kid. I did play Remake as a kid. Not like I never beat it or anything. It's always funny, like, it's a... Wait, what? It's a magic mirror. No? Jump scare? No, that's on the other side. Okay. It's always funny of me to think about Resident Evil as being a series that I actually do kind of consider pretty near and dear to my heart. Because I never played them as a kid. I didn't have this game on the PS1 as a kid. If I did, I would probably not have played it. Although I could have gotten the N64 game. They did make Resident Evil 2 for the N64, and it was actually really impressive at the time. I referenced that at the beginning, is this game split up onto 2 discs. Disc 1 is Leon's disc, and Disc 2 is Claire's disc, and that was always the cool thing about Resident Evil. Shit. Shit. No. Stay back! Ah! Samuel. Man, I have taken way more hits. Like, I'm not even in caution yet. And you can tell that I'm not in caution because my character model isn't limping. They added a limping animation for where when you hit caution, you start limping. See, look, I don't even have to go to the screen. I can just tell. I'm fine. It's fine. I'm still running around. Because in the original PS1 game, there was no change to your character model. You could never be sure if you were fine or in caution or in danger. Like, you would just be fucked. You have to go into the status screen and check manually. Wow, Jesus Christ. What was it? 2, 2, 3, 6. Was that it? Boom. Gotcha. Okay, acid rounds from my grenade launcher, which I'm, like... I don't think anyone has ever explained to me to a reasonable degree which grenade rounds are the best. I don't think anyone knows. Does anyone out there know which grenade... Look, you can see the zombie turn his head. Look at him. Look at him. I see you. I see you, Claire. Come on, take a nibble. Fuck you. Love kicking their heads off. Yep, I knew that would push me over the edge. There we go. Topped off. Again, this is not a hard game. It's weird to me to think of Resident Evil as a series that's kind of near and dear to my heart, because I didn't play as a kid, but it is a game series I would consider kind of near and dear to my heart, interestingly enough. Okay, there's no reason to come out here. Because I owned, like, I may have talked about this before, I'm sure. I always have a problem with that, where I don't remember things that I've talked about in previous videos. I did like 2 playthroughs of Remake. I did a whole playthrough of Resident Evil 4. I'm sure I've talked about it, but like I never played the games as a kid, but I did own like a bunch of instruction manuals and guides, like Prima, Brady game guides are like, here's how you beat the game, which made sense because they were like really puzzle-centric games. And those would have, like, detailed walkthroughs, including plot summaries. So I would read those manuals as a kid, and they would have, like, lists of weapons and lists of, like, the various creatures and bosses you would fight in those games, and have a plot synopsis. I remember I had this, I still have, this big, like, massive book that was, like, the Wesker Report. I had a summary of the entire series up until Resident Evil 4, because Resident Evil 4 fucked everything up, including the games industry. Let's go ahead and dump this. And honestly, I'm not going to use this. I feel like I'm going to save that, if anything. Yeah, I feel like that's fine. So, like, even though I never actually played the games as a kid, I still feel like, oh yeah, I have nostalgic memories of the story of Resident Evil, of the things that happened in these games, because I remember them from the, like, instruction guides and manuals that I would read. Which is really funny. So it's, like, it's almost kind of, like, funny to me, personally, coming back and playing these games now as an adult. Like, the first time I actually finally played Resident Evil 2 as an adult was, like, I was an adult. I was like, what? I forget actually how old I was. Like, I definitely didn't have any nostalgia, which speaks well of the games that, like, hey, they're still pretty good, even though, like, I didn't grow up with them as a kid. They still have aged sufficiently well, I feel. Never had, maybe as a kid, maybe as a small child, and that's just what people are remembering is their problems as a small child. I feel like that's generally kind of a problem when people look back on games, is they're not replaying the game now. They're just going based on what their childhood memory was. So whenever you see people complaining about, like, the tank controls now, it's because they're remembering as a kid I had trouble with the tank controls. But they're not actually, like, replaying it to completion and being like, oh, let's see how these controls work. They're just remembering as a kid, oh, I didn't, I have to be control weird, blah, blah, blah. Tank controls I mean, if you're gonna have a static cinematic camera angle like this that's constantly changing, tank controls is what makes sense, because if the camera changes, which it does constantly, then you have to constantly reorient yourself. Whereas I'm running forward. No matter what angle the camera changes to, I am running forward. As long as I hold up on the thumbstick, my direction does not change. It reminds me of how, like, people go, oh, Final Fantasy VII. Again, you're going off of your childhood memory. If you replay it, again, I didn't play Final Fantasy. I didn't have a PS2, a PS1. I didn't have a PS1 as a kid. I don't think we need this until later. So all of those games that, like, the PS1 really was the first game console to hit the mainstream. Like, it was the NES, and then, like, was the first game console to, like, boom, mainstream crowd of non-nerd people, fucking video games, yo. And then, like, couple generations went by, boom, the PS1 did it. And the PS1 was the console that, like, Joe Normie everyman would just get to have a game console because it appealed to the mainstream. Oh no, a midget! Run, midget! Help me! Run, dude! They mostly come out at night, dude! Come over here. So I feel like a lot of people who are grown up now had PS1s back in the day as kids, and that might have been their first console, and they remember playing these games like, oh, this door's locked, how'd Sherry get through? Boom. Went through the ventilation shaft. Just like Newt. Oh, yes. Oh, that sweet release of death. Discard. Nothing worse than getting the "this key is useless now, discard" message and accidentally saying no, and you just have that fucking key in your inventory for the rest of the goddamn game. Oh, it's so terrible.